are listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
GUFON Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
GUFON Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You are listening to GUFON Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to GUFON Radio stream on YouTube. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. Tonight is episode 30 of the GUFON Radio stream. Tonight we have a very special show with a special friend, Mr. Author of Horror, who will be joining us here in a few minutes, William Pattison. Yes, William's been a friend of the show for a very long time, since the very beginning, the AZ UFO show and then some. Seen the ups and downs of the old Rich G. He's been through trials and tribulations of his own. My God, he's got some stories, I'm sure he doesn't want to remember. But yeah, he's going to be joining me here in a second. Actually, he's waiting in the wings. But yeah, the game was great tonight. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm very happy that New England won. That's not who I predicted would win. But it is, and it was a really good game, I have to admit. One of these games that I didn't expect, and I just couldn't believe there was only one touchdown the whole game. That just blew my mind. I did not expect it. I thought it was going to be 28-24, and I had exactly what Tony Romo said. He said 28-24. And the team that scored the 24 was going to be driving down the field with a chance to win it, but failed. I said the same thing. I couldn't believe it when I heard a professional football player, Romo, say the same thing. It's as if I may have fallen asleep in front of the TV and got that through my sleep. Who knows? I don't know, but the game was fun. And I can't believe Brady and the boys won 6. The most ever tying Pittsburgh. But we shall get on to the show and move on. So I'm going to bring on, here we go, there he is, William Pattison. William, what do you say, man? Welcome back to another one of my named shows. How you doing?
Oh, hello. This is Tyler from Gay Team 7. And I just have a little question for the chat.
Oh, okay, Tyler. I didn't know you were jumping in. Yeah, what the hell are you calling me for?
Oh, well, there was something very important that I had to ask. You know, what do you think, people? Do you think that aliens actually use butt plugs when they are doing anal examinations on abductees?
Are you asking me? Are you asking the crowd? Do aliens use butt plugs when doing anal checkups or whatever they do? I don't, the weird thing is I don't have a chat room tonight, so I'll have to answer that for you. No, they don't.
Oh my God.
They don't. That's funny, man. I can't believe you would say something like that. How dare you?
Gorin scares everybody in the chat room. Yeah, I had to do it. I have been waiting to do my Tyler imitation.
That was actually not bad. Hey guys, this is Tyler. Tyler from Secure. Like we don't know. I mean, I know I come on, I say the same thing, but I don't know. When you do 10-minute videos to a 2-hour show, people can forget who they're listening to in 2 hours. But in a 10-minute video, it makes me laugh that he has to say it every time. But that was very close. Very good. So what's going on, man? Are you writing it? I mean, you're an author of horror. Am I saying that correctly or am I wrong?
Author of horror. Yep.
I thought so.
Yeah, I'm still working on Symphony of Death Part 4. I've actually been working on this for like 2 years. It's been a long journey on this one. I don't know why, but
how long?
2 years.
Holy smoke! Now, what's the normal? How many pages do you usually write per story? Is it, or do you do short stories? It's for people who don't know.
With the Symphony of Death books, I do short stories. So they usually average around 20 pages each, per section. But the thing is that with this current story that I'm working on, it's turned out that it's turning into a novella, which will be almost up to probably about 50 to 75 pages long.
I was just looking at you. You look fantastic, man. Have you been doing anything? Because you just look a lot better. Like, I don't know if it's the lighting or... Oh, yeah, you're in a different place, aren't you, than the last time you were on the show? You actually have good lighting this time. Every other time, it's like you have a light in the distance. This one looks like it's closer to you.
It's more the time of the evening. Because usually when I do videos, I do it either during the day or I do it early evening.
I'm talking when you were on here the last couple of times. It was a kind of a dimmer situation. This one, it's more focused lighting. It looks really good. So 20 pages. How... That's a story in 20 pages? How's that possible?
Oh, yeah, short story.
Jesus, anybody, yeah. I could do that. I should do that. I could do that.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than what people think. Oh, my God, I mean, it's like, what the writer of The Craft of Fiction says. He says that basically, to fill up a white page, you have to open a vein and bleed. I mean, it's terrible.
What do you do for ideas, though? Do you actually take them from your own life experiences or other people's experiences? Where do you get these ideas? These creepy ideas?
Various places. I mean, people that I meet... dreams, all kinds of different stuff, and sometimes it just comes to me.
You ever use the internet?
No, no, I don't. Sometimes, if I'm interested in a subject, that'll enter into a story.
How long have you been writing? I've never asked you that. Has it been your whole life or since high school? How long?
Actually, it's been since college.
Oh, okay. And
yeah. When I started out in college, the thing was that I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I went to film school. And then the thing was that I took screen criticism course, and while I was there, I picked up books on how to write screenplays and how to write books, and I was interested in actually writing a book. So the thing was that I'm a bad tester. So when I tested for college, I got Bonehead English.
Oh, yeah.
And what was funny as shit was they put me in the Bonehead English class, and the teacher there said, "You don't belong in this class." Because the thing was that in the class that I was at in college, the teacher didn't base on the quality of the work. He based it on the amount of work. So if you wrote a certain amount of stuff, you'd get an A. Another amount you'd get a B, and another amount you'd get a C. So here, with me, I just said, to hell with it, I'm just going to do a C. And I was sending him these brilliant pieces of work. I mean, I did a biography of the Count Riquezi de Saint-Germain and gave it to him. And here he's sitting there, and, usually the ones would do stuff on politics and just give him these crappy little essays and stuff. And here I'm giving him all these high-minded stuff, and he's going, "Oh my God, this is good, this is good stuff," and all this, and he's going, "Man, you made my year, but the thing is, all you're getting is a C."
That doesn't seem fair. At all.
He said, "Well, your writing is incredible." He said that all he needed to do was correct some commas and stuff. And I was the easiest person to correct in the class, and he loved the subjects that I had, because I was writing on Star Trek, I was writing on all kinds of different subjects.
All right.
And just giving him these brilliant pieces. And he was like, "Man." So the thing is that I went to college for 4 years, and I could never get into the fiction writing class because it would have taken me probably another 2 years to get from Bonehead English to the short story writing class. So what I did is I just bought the book, the textbook, and went and taught myself how to write.
That's what I was going to ask you, yeah, because I wanted to, finish writing this Close Encounters Part 2 movie. And, that's totally different than writing a book, of course, but I also want to write a book. And I started one, and then I got rid of it. I still have it, but I got mad at it, and I ripped a lot of shit up and crumpled stuff, and then I stopped myself and said, well, maybe I'll come back to it, but it's not that easy to come up with even your own life story and try to remember everything and write it down perfectly. So it's interesting that you taught yourself.
Here's the book that I...
Oh, cool.
Same book. I've had this book since, believe it or not, 1984.
The Craft of Fiction, 3rd edition, by who is that? Capole?
William C. Knott.
William. It's you. Come on. We know it's your book.
Well, yeah, this is my book because I've actually had this for all these years, and I come back to it. You know, when I'm you know, when I really need to check up on stuff, and it's fantastic.
Have you ever had any I don't know why I'm asking you a bunch of questions like this. It's kind of like just a rundown of things that I've always wanted to ask, and maybe I've forgotten over the years. You know, I know, and you're always here at the show, and this and that, and I feel like there may be some things we never talked about, so I'm trying to search for those things, and we've talked about a lot of stuff over the years.
Yeah, well, I've taught myself a lot of stuff over the years. I mean, shoot, I taught myself the computer.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but writing and getting paid, that's two different things than just learning a computer. You're not getting paid to work your computer. So this is something you have to be exceptionally good at. Have you ever thought, or is there any way you can make yourself even a better writer at this point? Or
no, pretty much. I've got my style and stuff, and
but don't you think it's weird how even like the guys who write books all the time, it's like they have hit and miss. It's not easy to get a winner all the time.
No, it isn't.
Is it like, it's got to be like anything else, like a 1 in a million shot, or either you're a gifted guy and you got great stories that nobody's ever heard of before? I don't know. What do you think it is? Do you think originality is missing out of all of the writings we see today compared to what you're doing?
The thing is that what you're seeing now is you're seeing a generation that was raised on television and stuff. So, you know, a lot of their stuff is more limited to what they saw on television and the inspirations that they got from that. It's, you know, a lot of science fiction writers nowadays, unless they were mentored by a good science fiction writer. Now with me, you know, when I was young, you know, I lucked out because I managed to get a connection to Gene Roddenberry and Harv Bennett and that, and they got me to go to this one party, and I ended up meeting and associating with some of the great science fiction writers. So I, you know, got to talk with them and get to know them, and that really accelerated me on my wanting to write. And that, you know, I mean, you know, it was at this party that I met Harlan Ellison, who had a big impact on me. And, of course, Ray Bradbury. I mean, Ray was just an incredible writer. And, of course, you know, Dr. Isaac Asimov. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that's unbelievable. Who's the person who's influenced you? Those two?
Ray and Harlan quite a bit. You know, Gene, of course, you know, because I'm a Star Trek fan, you know, I mean, I studied, you know, Star Trek. I mean, you know, when I was younger, I knew every episode of the original Star Trek by title, by plot, everything. Now I can't because, you know, my mind is old.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. I know.
And you know, I mean, shoot, now how many episodes of Star Trek are there? You know, it's like over 1,000 episodes over all the series and stuff.
And the new one with the Spock.
Yeah. Yeah, Discovery.
Now Discovery is going on their second season, right?
Yeah, they just started their second season.
See, I never even watched the first one. I just put it out of sight, out of mind. Is it any good? Have you watched it?
I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah?
I enjoyed it.
Is it a woman captain?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'll watch it. No, I'm just kidding.
The main character that they have is Michael Burnham, she was a human that was raised in Spock's father's family, in the same house as Spock. So she was kind of the adopted sister of Sarek and Amanda.
That's kind of cool.
And the thing is that, she's actually, believe it or not, she's actually the one that ended up starting the Klingon War with the Federation.
I'm not too familiar with the history of Star Trek. Was that on this Discovery or in previous shows?
No, that was in Discovery. It was mentioned. God damn! It was the original season episode where Kirk goes down to the hospital for the criminally insane, and he meets the war hero Garth of Iceburg. It was the episode where they had the girl that played Batgirl. She plays a Green Orion girl who's insane, and she tries to kill Kirk because she falls in love with him.
I'm not familiar with it. And this is all on Discovery?
Yeah.
When is this taking place? When he was young? I don't get it.
This takes place 10 years before the original Star Trek series.
So it's as they are younger and getting to go into the academy and all that?
No, Kirk isn't even in it. But Spock is younger. This is during his time with Captain Pike. Spock just came into it this season.
Oh, okay. Who's playing Spock?
They've got a young guy, and this Spock is a lot different because this Spock is going through mental problems. What? Because when he was a young man, when he was a child, he kept seeing what he called the Red Angel. And this Red Angel is involved with what is going on this season. And the thing is that in this season, Captain Pike shows up and he takes over command of the USS Discovery, which is this huge, giant laboratory ship. Because the Enterprise is disabled. And they actually show the Enterprise for a little bit.
I want to put a bullet in my mouth right now. It's like, God, how many different timelines and stories are they going to do until they run it dry, I guess, right? Oh, my God.
Pretty much.
This sounds ridiculous, though, to me. It doesn't sound like that would be Spock.
Yeah, well, the thing is, right, the way they left off here, Spock has just escaped from an asylum.
Oh my God.
And he just killed 2 people.
This is ridiculous. Is this in the books or magazines? What do they have? Comics? I mean, is this back? Is this based off any history? Nothing. This is all just newly thought up stuff of what Spock went through when he was a kid. Because I know he's half human, half Klingon. Or not Klingon.
Vulcan.
Vulcan. So yeah. I understand that he was, abused by the bigger kids or bullied, whatever, and always had a hard time with that. So I guess, but to see this, I don't know, God of Redstone, what was it called?
It was the Red Angel. It's a figure with big wing-like extensions that come out, and
Jesus Christ.
He's seen it from childhood, and he's drawn it and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he has a bad relationship with his adopted sister, Michael Burnham. And so, you know...
her name is Michael?
Yeah, her name's Michael Burnham.
In real life?
In the show.
Okay. So they named the chick Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is what I hate about... And God, I hope you're not doing this with your books, but this is what I hate, because this is what mainstream media has been trying to push on everybody. Women can be just like men. We can even give them names like men. I mean, come on, to call a chick Michael, I've seen a girl named Brian before, but Michael? That'd be like naming your daughter Richard. It doesn't make sense. Michelle, we're not going to call her Michelle because we wanted her to be powerful and strong, so we gave her a man's name. That's what I feel. I don't know. You're not doing that in your books, though.
No, I have.
I'm sorry, I have to be
character, and she is tough, but the thing is that she's very, she's not overpowering.
I understand,
in
but
the story.
This day and age type of shit just makes me angry.
I know that the PS bullshit. I know how it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, what they're doing with Star Wars and everything, and
right.
You have the ridiculous feminism and stuff that's like now they've got a female Doctor Who, and fandom is just falling apart. It's terrible because you've got all this negativity that's going on in science fiction. It's just horrible.
Really?
Oh my God.
I had no idea because I don't follow it as strongly as you. I wish I did. I just don't have a lot of time for it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Star Wars is just falling apart.
Well, I know that. A little bit of it anyway. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, because, the Star Wars fans, they absolutely hated The Last Jedi.
They're going to redo it.
No, they're not.
I heard they were.
Nope.
They didn't file Kathleen Kennedy or whatever her name is?
No, she's still there, but she's not taking as much of an active role. And they've basically put Rian Johnson, the guy who directed Episode 8, they've put him down. He was supposed to have his own trilogy, and they're holding off on him. It's probably going to be about another 6 years before he gets to do his trilogy. They're actually having the guys who did Game of Thrones, they're going to do the next trilogy.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they finished the series already, so that's starting in April, I think. The last 5 or 6 episodes, so that makes sense. Wow. Yeah. My God. Yeah, go ahead.
And this final one, Episode 9, it's being directed and written by J.J. Abrams.
All right, it'll be entertaining.
The Force Awakens, and the thing is that he's bringing a lot of classic Star Wars material into it. He's bringing in stuff from the canon. He's bringing in stuff from the other television series.
That's great.
Everything
to marry it all together.
Yeah, marrying it all together. He's trying to make this something to bring the fans back together, and he's bringing back Luke Skywalker even though Luke is dead.
So this is after the last one, you're saying? The next 3? It's just going to continue?
It's after it's Episode 9.
Force Awakens, The Last Jedi.
No, Episode 9 is... They still haven't actually put out the title for it.
Oh, okay.
The Last Jedi was 8.
That's what I'm talking about. It's going to continue after that one, right?
Yeah, but it's going to continue probably about 10 years later.
And Luke is going to now just come back to life.
No, he's going to be a Force ghost, and what they're going to do is they're going to do flashbacks.
Ah, very good. I'm excited.
And they're going to be including stuff about Anakin and Palpatine and everything. Everything's just going to be thrown in.
Well, let me tell you, they just showed Rogue One on TV yesterday and today, and that's my favorite Star Wars of all time.
Yeah, Rogue One was incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal, I thought. And everything just went well with that movie. I liked it that everybody died at the end. I loved the way it ended with Darth Vader destroying, getting up to the escape shuttle, whatever it is, where Princess Leia was with the secret. But I have to admit, after watching it 2 more times, I like Solo. I didn't think Solo was horrible.
No, neither did I. I loved Solo.
Yeah, it was good.
But the thing was, Rich, what it is it's the fandom.
I know.
They've actually got a group that is just set on tearing apart the fandom. It's a group called the Fandom Menace.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
That's awfully good. Very good.
And they're all they do is they criticize Discovery, they criticize Doctor Who.
They're the fandom. Sorry.
Yeah, they criticize Star Wars. And they're just saying that they're not giving J.J. Abrams a chance, and they're saying that this Episode 9 is going to be garbage, and that Star Wars is at an end, and all this. And
J.J. Abrams rebooted Star Trek, and it's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not doing Star Trek 4.
And I heard they were doing it. Where am I getting my information? I'm getting it from BuzzFeed, I guess.
Yeah. Paramount canceled it.
Well, that's a shame.
They canceled it because Chris Pine and the one that plays Thor in Marvel, they refused to sign because of the fact that Paramount wanted to cut their pay.
But what part was he playing, the Thor guy?
He was playing Kirk's father. They were going to bring back Kirk's father.
Oh, this was supposed to be part 4 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, they were going to bring his father back. Oh, that would have been a good role for him. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Didn't they use him in the very...
Yes, as Kirk's father.
That's crazy. He looked so much younger 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been about 10 years, right, since they rebooted Star Trek?
Yeah.
But Chris Pine is doing other things, and I don't find that I'm typecasting him either, like I would other people. I lost you.
You lost me?
Yeah, for some reason you're not showing on the show.
Huh.
How's that possible? Hold on, let me try something here. Say something. Yeah,
Hello.
We can still hear you. I saw a flash, and then maybe it's on my end. Let me try something.
Well, if you can still hear me, that's
they can
cool.
still hear you. Go ahead, as you were saying.
So, anyways, yeah, the thing was, and also there was. You're gonna love this, Rich. This is how the Fandom Menace works. They don't like one thing, so they destroy everything else. They add in, all this crap. And the thing is that, what happened is that at the time when CBS was starting Discovery, they put a halt on a fan production called Axanar, which was also going to be about the Klingon War. And it was going to be the story of Captain Garth of Izark and his famous Battle of Axanar, where he was the hero of the Klingon War.
Okay.
Well, the thing is that Paramount put a hold and sued Axanar. Of course, the thing was that Axanar was using professional special effects people and had a $2 million budget.
Jeez.
And was using professional actors. So the thing is that the fan community went nuts. Paramount put regulations on fan films, saying that fan films could not be feature length anymore, that they could only be up to 30 minutes, and that they couldn't have any Star Trek actors in it, and that they couldn't make their own props. They'd have to buy ready-made Star Trek props. So, basically making it almost impossible to do a Star Trek fan film. So what happened is that when Star Trek Beyond came out, the third Star Trek film,
yeah,
the fans were angry and they didn't go see the film. So it bombed in the box office.
I just watched it today before the Super Bowl. It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. That is my favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah, I would agree. That's my favorite too. Yeah, it's awesome.
And yeah, it bombed in the box office. It made back its budget, but in order to be considered successful, it had to make 3 times its budget.
God.
So it made $158 million, and it failed.
You know where I think it made a lot of money, though? When it comes out on demand, people pay to rent it if they didn't see it for $5.99. I know I do. I watch a lot of movies now on cable instead of going to the theater if I don't have the money. Except I make exceptions for Star Wars and Star Trek movies, things that are classics to me, or should be. But it's very interesting that this fandom hating group is out there, but I guess they're the experts, so people are believing, I guess, what they're saying, because they must have this background or credibility that makes them that strong to sway so many people to not go see movies or anything. It's crazy.
It blows my mind. What it is that you have so many fans that are what I call sheeple.
Oh yeah, I'm one.
Yeah, they just go by anyone who presents themselves in a certain way.
Okay, I'm not that guy.
And it's horrible. This is the type of people that years ago I fought against.
Oh.
Because that remember I told you about the horror socials?
I remember it vividly. Yes. I kept telling you just ignore it, and you're like, I'm trying.
Oh no! This isn't the cyber stalkers.
Oh my God! There was more than the cyber stalkers.
They called the cyber stalkers called themselves the horror socials to be to mock me, because they try to say in their propaganda that I'm nuts and that this horror socials never existed. But the fact is that the horror socials, they were these independent horror filmmakers who were sitting there trying to say that they ran the horror industry and that, that they could say whose film would get done and whose film would be messed with.
That's awful.
Yeah.
So they could basically make or break you, is what you're saying?
Yeah, because what they would do is that get their friends to go around and say, like, oh, well, this filmmaker is a pervert. This filmmaker has a bad background. He won't pay his actors or stuff, or go to their the people who were financing them and try to steal the financing from their films.
But they can't slander somebody in public without having any...
They do it. They'll just make up shit, and that's... Well, you saw yourself with me.
I know people do it, but I guess if you had the money, you could sue them, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything costs money, so if you don't have the money and you're trying to make it and these people come against you and say, this guy's a pedophile, this guy's a pervert, that could kill you. That's awful.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, you're looking at, if you're a filmmaker who's starting out, doing your first independent horror film, every cent of your money is going into that.
Oh, yeah.
And so these people, they take away your backers in that, or they make it where your crew doesn't want to work for you in that. It'll destroy you.
Is this something new?
No, this was happening for 10 years.
Okay, well, has it been happening before that, I mean? Like, since the internet. Because I know 10 years ago when, they rebooted the Star Wars and Star Trek, people were happy about the new Star Trek movie but hated the Star Wars. But it didn't make people not go.
Yeah.
Or did it?
No, this is actually something new. You now have this gang mentality. I mean, people are just, they're getting like this gang mentality, and they think that they own the franchises now.
But why would a movie producer or the people backing the movie, why would they even listen to these people? They vetted you. They know you. They've interviewed you. They know who you are before you start working with them. I'm sure of it. And then if these people say stuff, I would think they would just look at it and say, internet trolls, who cares? We know William. He's a great guy. He works hard. That's all he does is work, work, work. He doesn't even leave the house.
You would think so. But what happens is that these people are friends with other people who have power in horror. It's like, let's put it this way. I knew this one filmmaker who was doing his first film. Brilliant story idea and stuff. But what happened is that these ones, they thought, oh, well, he's going to be a threat to us because our films are not going to be as good as his. So what they do is they go to their friends who they go to conventions and they drink with them and they smooze with them and stuff, and they go, oh, you know what? I need you to do something for me, we want to get this guy out of horror. So can you start spreading this stuff around, and, we just want him out. And they'll do it. And what you'll find is that, because a lot of these first-time filmmakers will be going around to conventions to promote their stuff, and these guys will have it where the conventions will not let these guys in. They, podcasts will not promote them. Websites will not promote them.
This is crazy. It's like Revenge of the Nerds. It's like they're getting their way, and now they have power, and they're abusing it. It just makes me angry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's why I said years ago that you and I were very much the same. I was bringing out this shit when it came to horror.
Yeah. And I was doing it with ufology, right?
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
I went to war with these people, and they lost their power because of people like me. And
you wouldn't go away.
Because I wouldn't go away, and because I kept mentioning all these people and that, and telling what they were doing to these people, and mentioning names and that, and saying, this is what they did. They stole his stuff there. They threatened. I mean, even my associate Derek Young, he had one of these horror socials sit there and not only try to stop his film from being done, but also tried to ruin his marriage.
Jeez.
Yeah, she actually went around and tried to say that that she had an affair with him at a convention.
Oh, so she just made it all up. Oh my God, that's ruthless, man.
Yeah, that's how ruthless these people were. But of course, Derek's wife knows him. Derek. Right. Derek is a very Christian, with him, his family is everything.
Yeah, she knows he wouldn't do that.
No. And what's funny is about 3 years later, this same lady tried to pull the same thing on one of the major convention organizers, his best friend, and it all turned on her, so now she is completely blackballed from ever getting in a convention.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, well, she pulled the same thing on me. She tried to say that I was stalking her.
But this is one person but if you have a lot of people doing it, I don't know how you have the energy for it. With this person saying this, another person saying plagiarism, another person saying pedophile, another person saying stealing this and lying about that.
Yeah.
That's just like me, I would just shut down. I wouldn't talk to them. That's what I kept telling you during that one period.
I know. The thing is, Rich, I never talked to them. I would always avoid them. And, once in a blue moon, I would sit there and I'd warn my friends on it. I would just simply, put it out there and say, don't listen to this person because he's just one of the cyber stalkers.
It's just weird that they could have that much influence on people. I don't see it. I don't see how. That's just crazy.
Well, this current batch, they have power on pretty much nobody. I mean, seriously, the one guy who's been really getting after me here just recently, Eric. He's his big thing that he pulled is, he got his friend who works in a porno shop to do a video saying that I was a fat pig that looked like Jabba the Hutt, and that he said that if I ever walked into his porno shop, he'd kick the shit out of me. And I didn't say anything, but as far as me going to a porno shop, I don't go to porno shops. I've got a little bit more respect for myself than going to a porno shop.
Yeah, get it online like I do. You know, the
exactly.
Best this is just crazy. And is it still happening as of now, today?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. They're still hitting my my stuff, but what Derek does is he checks my pages every day, and he just erases the stuff. You know, that's a loyal friend.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, you know, if they get through, you know, once in a blue moon, what'll happen is that that they'll make a fake profile and they'll sneak onto my Facebook profile, and all of a sudden I'll get onto Facebook and I'll find about 200 memes on all of my posts.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. The last one I saw was the Sylvia Brown one.
Really?
Yeah, I posted a picture of Sylvia Brown. Somebody took it and put your face over hers. You didn't see that?
No. No, because someone pulled it off.
No, I thought you saw it. It's weird looking, man. It looks like I don't know, you and her. It really is a mixture. It's weird. I have it I have it in my Facebook. I didn't erase it. If you ever want to go in my pictures, you'll see it.
Nah.
Nobody knows it's you though. That's the whole thing. It just looks. You know what it looks? Looks like Benny Hill.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's your face on hers. It's really weird. There was a meme with it. Of course, I erased it. I don't remember what it was.
You know, it doesn't. You know, the thing is that, I mean, here's the thing, Rich. I mean, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. Now, these guys are between 30 and 54 years old. They're fat, they're balding, they got beards, they're drunks, and they act like 10-year-olds. I mean, you know, the way that they, you know, well, you've met them.
That's a troll, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, that isn't a troll. See, that's the thing. Everyone on horror keeps calling them trolls. But there's a big difference between a troll and a cyber stalker. A troll will get on to like a website or your chat room or that, and they'll do their stuff, and then they'll leave, and you know, they might come back one or two times, and then they'll go away. They'll disappear. A cyber stalker continuously does it. They're focused. They hit you. You know, I've had the same people hitting me for 4 years. You know, like maybe 3 times a week.
God.
And they have a website that they run, and from what I heard from a friend, I don't even look at this stuff. I have my friends give me information on this, but they said that right now they have 800 blogs, all dedicated to trashing me.
So they're like herpes. They never go away.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is that, you know, it's made me where I try to promote anti-bullying. Right. And anti-cyber stalking, you know, because the thing is that what people don't seem to get is that this is a criminal act.
It is. Right.
It is a criminal act. The problem is that law enforcement does nothing. You go to the police with these people, you know, they make death threats at you. They've threatened that they're going to rape my niece.
Wow.
They threatened to kill my buddy Derek's family.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They've threatened to catch me after work and beat me half to death.
See, that's not fun at all. I mean, that makes you think, my God, somebody's going to be waiting for me one night.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is that have a real fun time because I've got a nice steel cane that I could beat the shit out of them with that I carry. and I know self-defense. Shoot, I was a vigilante for a few years until I couldn't do it with my bad leg.
I'd love to be a vigilante.
It's not fun. It's painful.
Well,
it is painful, and I wasn't much of a vigilante because I did save people, but the thing is, I usually ended up on the ground, unable to chase after these assholes, because my leg went out.
You know who you are? Batman. You're Batman.
That's what these ones said a few times.
I got that from Seinfeld when Kramer took over the bus, and he was still making the stops while the mugger he was driving a bus, holding a mugger off and letting people off at the stops. And Jerry goes, "You were making all the stops," and he goes, "They kept ringing the bell." Anyway, we're talking to William Pattison, author of horror, going over trials and tribulations of getting some fame. Now, with the books that you're writing, any movie deals in the future? Are you going to try to do one of those maybe short story movies? You remember like Tales from the Crypt? I see you doing something like that.
I see Symphony of Death going that way.
Really?
The problem is that I keep bringing it up to people and they go, "Oh yeah, well, we could, the problem is that you have these cyber stalkers and they'd probably mess up the financing for it."
What? What do they care?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like and I told them, I said, look at the stories. Really look at the stories. Which reminds me, Rich, I actually put 2 of my stories here on YouTube as audiobooks. So people can actually listen to them. The thing is that it's a computer that's reading them. It's not too bad. It's a little glitchy, but you can actually hear my stories.
That's awesome. I saw on during the Super Bowl they had a commercial and it's free for 24 hours on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
What is that girl? It was God, they made her into a killing machine when she was a kid. It's one name for it. For the name, it's a girl's name.
Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah. So
yeah.
they're I guess that's going to be a new show, but they're showing for free the first episode because it doesn't come out for a couple of weeks, I think.
Well, Rich, they actually have the first episode of first episode of season 2 of Star Trek Discovery on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'll watch it then. I didn't know that. Well,
yes.
The reason I was bringing that up because I wanted to ask you, do you watch TV shows like Hannah? I get the feeling you watch pretty much everything sci-fi.
I haven't watched Hannah, and actually I'm pretty picky, believe it or not. I watched The Haunting of Hill House. I watched
with Zach Bagans?
No. This was The Haunting of Hill House. It was based on the Shirley Jackson novel. That they did the haunting from it.
That's not The House on the Hill?
No.
Okay. Similar.
And let's see. What other one? Oh, Night Flyers. I saw that.
Night Flyers. I think I saw that. It sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
I'm watching.
It's based on the George R.R. Martin novella.
Have you been watching The Expanse at all?
Oh, I love The Expanse. The Expanse is great.
Yeah, it's really well done, isn't it?
Oh, that is one of my favorite sci-fi shows so far. I mean, yes, I love Star Trek and that, but The Expanse feels more realistic.
Oh, they got colonies living on Mars and Earth, and they're battling against each other, and then what? Don't they have? Some people live off of Saturn's rings or something like that.
Like
around. Oh no, Jupiter.
Asteroid
I don't know.
colonies. And
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
all that.
That is interesting. That concept, because of what we talk about here on the show a lot, venturing out, going to the moon, Mars, and who else? In the future, that's what we need to do, because there's going to be too many people. I don't know how the Earth is going to make it once we get to 10 billion people on the planet.
Well, we're going to have to go out. It's just like, our buddy Giorgio said with the ancient alien thing, that's our destiny, is to go out and colonize the universe.
Yeah, it's in our genome or something.
Yeah.
When you and I were born, I think there was only 5 billion people on the planet, or 4.5 billion. So in 50 years, we've almost doubled.
Pretty much. I mean, we're like a bacteria.
We're at 8 billion. We are, and that's what humans are, exactly as it was described in The Matrix. When they said, all we do, when they had Morpheus held prisoner in part 1, the original one, and what's his name goes up to him, the bad guy, I can't remember, the agent.
Agent Smith.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, you're like a disease. You go to one place, you consume everything, and then you move on to another place and consume more. I was like, yeah, that's what humans do. That's what we do. We
pretty
suck.
Much.
What do you mean, pretty much? That's exactly what we do. Pretty much.
Yeah, well, us industrialized people do. The tribal people don't.
Well, there's not billions of tribal people either.
No, they're not.
It's true what the Georgia Guidestones have always had written on them since they were put up in the 70s. 500 million people in harmony with the earth, or something to that nature. Because that's all if there was only 500 million people on the planet, the earth would do rather well.
Pretty much.
There it is again.
Yeah, I know. That's my usual answer.
I know. I love it. I'm giving you a hard time.
Hey, Rich, you want me to thrill the crew here? I got something special.
All right.
That I want to show them.
Hold on. Let me put you on the big cam.
Alrighty. Well, the thing is that, as you guys know, I'm also an artist. And the thing is that with Symphony of Death, after I get all the individual books done, I'm planning on doing a deluxe edition where I'm going to be doing illustrations. So I've been doing some illustrations. Also, I use these illustrations for the trailers that I do. So
you have some artwork that you've been.
Yeah, you're gonna love this.
All right, let's take a look. Yeah, everybody's waiting.
Yeah, this is from the story that I'm actually working on right now, Shadow Man versus the Undead.
Oh,
so
I like that already.
Here we go. Here's the Shadow Man.
Not okay. Let me hold it up a little bit higher up. Yeah. Okay. So in the right hand, which is our left, there's some light coming out. What is he holding on to? A weapon? What is that?
It's a flamethrower.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And the other hand has a serrated blade.
I like the belt area. That looks really cool. The jacket's cool. The hat and the face reminds me, and I know you know what I'm going to say already, probably. Freddy Krueger and Pumpkinhead. No, not Pumpkinhead. But almost like a Freddy Krueger type face.
I was actually thinking the Gray Ghost from Batman.
Oh, okay. Is that a mask?
Yeah, it's a mask.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell.
He's wearing the hat.
Now I see it.
And the hat actually has cameras on it. And he's wearing goggles. And he's got a cloth up over his mouth to hide his face.
Like Rorschach.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. Okay, I really like that. All right, hold on, wait. Is he wearing some protective chest plate or what?
Yeah, protective chest plate. He's got
and groin plate.
Chainmail.
Yep.
Chainmail underneath, and he's got leg guards.
Nice.
And he's got gauntlets.
How tall is he?
The Shadow Man is about 6.5.
I would have just said 7. 7 feet tall. That's a good Shadow Man, right?
Yeah, the Shadow Man.
That's cool as hell. So what does he do? Does he just hide in the shadows, then like disappears, comes up somewhere else because he can?
He's kind of like Batman.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking too. Okay.
And this would be like if Batman was in the zombie apocalypse, and he was protecting the people of a town.
And this is in one of your stories?
Yeah, this is in Shadow Man versus the Undead.
That's so... And okay, so what's the next one you got?
The next one is I've got the main character from Shadow Man the Undead. Shadow Man is not actually the main character. The main character is this... what she is she's a former actress, television star, internet geek icon. She's based on my friend Felicia Day, and she's called Felicia Donovan, and at the beginning of the story, she's insane.
Okay.
And she thinks that she's the star of a reality show called How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So she's an ex-actress still trying to hold on to a shred of her fame by staying on the internet, but she's a little bit nutty.
Yeah, because there is no internet, there's no cameras, and and she's living by scavenging in the zombie apocalypse. So this is how she really looks. When she sees herself as being fine, not messy or anything.
Like she used to look.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But didn't you say she was on the internet? I thought you said that.
To be.
Oh,
she used to be. But the thing is that what happened is that she saw her fiance and her brother ripped apart by zombies.
Oh my God.
A stampede of zombies. And she managed to get out of it, and her mind broke.
Okay.
And so here she is.
Oh my God, I would have never guessed she looked like that. She kind of reminds me of Sarah Connor from The Terminator, the original.
Yeah, I kind of
in a way
put together my friend Felicia Day with the girl who plays Jessica Jones.
Oh, okay.
And everyone that I showed that.
Go ahead.
Everyone that I show it to, they say I like the bunny.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
What's the reference on the bunny? Does it have some meaning to her?
Felicia is very much a one of these positive people. Her family were hippies and stuff, and high IQ person.
Hold that up again. So, the shirt, is that like a ratted, tattered sweater type of deal?
Yeah, it's a ratted, tattered sweater.
Very good.
Yeah, it's a ratted, sweater that she wears. She's been wearing this for 4 years.
God. Holy jeans.
Holy jeans, worn out and everything.
I like your artwork, man. I can't draw, so I wish I could. I'd be drawing all day long. That's awesome.
And, of course, here's zombies.
Okay, hold on. That's funny. What is this lady in the front, what is on her arm? Is that a patch? The white thing on her right arm?
No, that's her skin coming through. A hole.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay, yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, I did, now those were just, what I did with these is I cut them out and I did the cover for Shadow Man versus the Undead from that. And what I did is I cut them all together and put them together to create the cover. So now what I'm going to show you is these are going to be exclusive to the special edition of Symphony of Death that I'm going to do. And what these are is their pictures for a series of cover drawings for the prologues that I did. This is the birth of the Symphony of Death.
Holy crap. Is that a... Don't get mad. I can't tell. That looks like a chick on the right.
Yeah, it's a chick.
Okay. But
and that's her baby
on
the left. And the thing is that the demons put the baby back together, but they put the feet on the arms and they put the arms on the legs where the legs go.
Oh my God, that's creepy.
Sewed them back together.
But the head looks like an adult on the baby.
Yeah, well, it's the baby in pain, so.
Oh, okay.
All wrinkled and screaming in pain.
Oh yeah, okay. It takes a second for it to look good.
Yeah, and of course the woman, she's got her jaw ripped out, and so her tongue's hanging down.
Oh yeah, I've seen that broken jaw effect. That's creepy. So what's the guy doing in the front?
This is Philip Grassini, who wrote the Symphony of Death. And so he's working on the Symphony of Death.
That's great. And he's got a fountain pen.
Yeah. And this is his wife, Kathleen, and this is his baby, Day.
Dude, that's really wicked. So what happened? Did he kill... maybe I missed it. I don't know. Did he kill his wife and baby? Is that what happened?
No, the thing is that as he's writing the Symphony of Death, his loved ones are dying.
Why?
So the thing is that the first person who dies is his brother. Then his baby daughter dies. Then his father. Then his mother. His wife, Kathleen, goes nuts and tries to kill him. He gets her committed to an asylum, and she kills herself.
Is it because of what he's writing? He's making it come
Yes.
true?
What he's doing is every section, every time he finishes a section of the symphony, a sacrifice has to be made. And the last person to die is Grassini himself, 5 minutes after he finishes the symphony.
That's great. I like that. Well, that would make sense, actually.
Yeah.
So the show's going pretty quick. You know, I'm not going to do like a 4-hour show tonight, so we've only got about a half hour left. Anything inspire you from any recent hauntings or anything like that lately? Anything? Oh man, let me rephrase it. Any creepy shit happening?
Actually, yeah, I did. A couple of days ago, I had a situation where I heard my sister yelling for me. Bill, come down here. And I go, okay, I get up and I'm going down the stairs and I see my sister coming out the door to our side door to head out. And I said, oh, what do you want? And she goes, what? And I said, what do you want? She just called me. And she said, I didn't call you. I don't need you. And I'm going, I just heard you. You said, Bill, come down.
I've had that happen in the past. As a matter of fact, that's weird that you say that just happened. I think that happens to a lot of people, but that's really strange. And you heard it as if it was in the house, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't have been anybody walking by outside, you think?
No.
Like, Bill, are you home? Maybe that's what they were saying.
Nope. It was my sister's voice.
Wow, that's...
And then the thing was that 3 hours later, I hear, Bill, come down.
It happened again.
And my sister was right there at the door, and she was bringing me some lunch. And it was the exact same voice, exactly the same tone, exactly the same pacing of it. So what it was it was a time dilation.
I guess. I mean, that would have to make sense. That's bizarre. I know other people who've had that happen, including myself, a long time ago, that I've had anything that clear. But last week, I'm sitting at work. Actually, Thursday last week was the weirdest day I've had in a long time. But I heard somebody go, Rich. And I turn around and I go, did you just call my name? And I look to the guy 2 seats down. He goes, huh? I go, never mind. And then I hear it again, Rich. And I go, okay. So I'm hearing my name being called, but nobody's saying anything. Nobody's looking at me. So I walked up to my boss. I go, are you walking by behind the partition saying my name? You know, because you can't see if somebody walks behind down the hallway.
Yeah.
She's like, nope, haven't left my seat. So that weird stuff, man. And Thursday was a weird day for me. Some shadow figures. Really strange. Matter of fact, that happened yesterday, too, with the little shadows. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. It's really hit and miss. But I thought I was getting that feeling of throwing up again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I thought I was having Joe, the Hulk, he said I had a spiritual attack, which I probably did, but, you know, I'm in denial about it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Weird stuff, a time dilation. So what that means is that that something that happened in the past or the future got dialed into where you were then?
Mm-hmm. That's what happens. I mean, remember I told you about my nephew Daniel? I talked about that the last time I was on.
Yeah.
About how years before we saw him in our living room, and he kept showing up until my sister brought him as a little baby, and he was sitting there in the living room in the exact same spot, and then after that it never happened again.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens in my house. And, you know, also my cat Balcazar, he actually growled a few days ago. He was looking out the door and he was growling.
Do you live in a place that has a lot of quartzite or limestone or anything like that underneath the property that you know of?
Don't know.
Because they say quartz, you know.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That it, you know, I do know that we get ball lightning.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember one time I was going out to the garage, and this globe of energy lifted up from the ground, hovered for a moment, and then shot across the yard and hit the house.
Your house?
Yeah.
Wicked. And when it hit the house, it just dissolved?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I talked about the ball of light that me and my wife woke up to because the dog was barking at the backyard. Saw, you know, what looked like a flashlight. Came right in through the window. It was a ball of light. Looked like a little softball. Just, I don't know what movie it was where the little ball would follow the person around. It goes, wow, wow. What was that movie? Fury? No. What were you going to say?
I can't even remember what movie it was, but I do remember what you're talking about.
Buck Rogers? What was the one where that little ball followed him around and he asked it questions? It was a little floating ball. I can't remember. And every time it spoke, it turned into, like, you know, like spikes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I don't know. So my question to you originally was, anything happening that inspired you, or?
Not really. Amusingly enough, though, I did get inspired. Last couple of days, I've been trying to watch a new film that came out called Hellfest,
mm-hmm.
and one of the actresses spiked my memory of, you know, you remember the film Witchboard?
I remember the name of it, but I don't know if I saw it.
Well, anyways, a friend of mine, Kathleen, she played the psychic in it, the punk rock Zarabeth.
Okay.
And the thing is that while watching Hellfest, I got inspired. I all of a sudden I got this idea for a Zarabeth movie, a prequel to Witchboard. And it would give a little bit more of the background of the character Zarabeth, and you'd have a situation where Zarabeth and a paranormal group would be investigating a possession case. And she'd have to do the exorcism and stuff, and she'd be seeing spirits in the house. Kind of almost like the Amy Allen type thing.
Yeah.
Except that in the movie you'd actually get to see what the ghosts look like.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
And this actress that was on there, she was very Kathleen-like, and I was sitting there going, yeah, she could play the younger Zarabeth, because, you know, Kathleen's 54 years old now, so she can't play it. You know, and her character died in Witchboard. But I'm thinking about getting in touch with Kevin Tenney, the guy who directed and wrote Witchboard, and I'm going to pass the idea on to him.
Why not? Because that was pretty much leading into my next question for you. I love horror movies, love being scared. A lot of us do. But I find that the movies made lately just don't do it for me. Like, I'm talking the last 15 years. I don't know any movie that has really scared me. The only thing that got me a little goosebumpily was watching Ghost Mine when it was on. But other than that, not a movie. Why is that? Why is it so hard to get these movies made properly? Do you know? Is it just like 3 people in the whole horror community that make movies, or what?
No, what it is that when you're dealing with the studio system messes with the movies all the time. They decide, oh well, we have to do this movie where more people will like it, and the problem is when they try to homogenize the movies, try to make it for everybody. It takes away some of the stuff. I mean, I've seen some independent films that have really been good, but they're hard to find.
I don't know. Me and independent films, I just can't find many that I like. I always find them too artsy, just too weird.
Oh, understood. Yeah. Understood.
But I guess if you're into that, I mean, I guess it's cool, to see other people's point of views on things. But I don't know, man. I have so many great ideas that could be great movies, just like a million other people out there. And it's always the same system. It's the same format, it seems like. You can always tell when, the scare is going to come. And
well, that's the director. One director that I do find that he doesn't, he knows how to do a good jump scare is James Wan, because he tells the person doing the music not to raise the music and not to shut down the music when you're doing a jump scare, because the problem is that they set up a jump scare
with the
music.
And
the thing is that what you can find is that what'll happen is just before a jump scare, they'll cut off the music.
Right.
And then it'll be 1, 2, 3, jump scare, and the music will go up. And then it'll come down.
Yeah, the music scares you.
It's the music that shocks you more than the jump scare.
I know.
But one of the greatest jump scares you ever wanted to see was in the original Halloween.
Well, I would have to agree with that. What scene, though? When he...
it was the scene with Dr. Loomis, and he's looking over the bushes, and the sheriff comes up behind him.
Yes, I know exactly what... I just watched it Halloween, so yeah, I know what you mean. But
there was no music. There was nothing there to set you off, but the jump scare hit you.
But the music did jump up when he came around, and when he turned around, it went, "Toodaloo," it scared the shit out of you. Yeah, there was no music leading up to that, but when he turned around, there was that, seeing the guy in the music, hearing the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. When I watch these ghost adventure shows and all this, they do that, and you always know when you're going to hear something, which I hate. I wish they would play no music at all. But like in Ghost Adventures, they do it all the time. They lower the music or turn it off, and then you get to hear what they're hearing. Well, don't play any frickin' music.
Yeah,
I think it would be better without it.
The fact is that modern horror filmmakers, they use the jump scare too much.
Yeah, true.
The thing is with making a horror film, it's like making a comedy. What you have to do is you have to build up the tension before you do stuff. And if you keep jumping up and down, jumping up and down, jumping up and down, what happens is by the time you get to the end, which is supposed to be your big conclusion, where where the person's already, their system's already worn out from it.
Yeah.
So the ending doesn't have the impact. What you have to do is you have to know the psychology of how to do it. I mean, you look at Wes Craven when he was doing Nightmare on Elm Street. He knew how to pace his the
scare.
The scares.
He did.
Yeah. So your best horror movies, what they do is they build up the tension, and the problem is that for the last almost 15 years, you've had these filmmakers who do not know how to build tension.
But don't people watch these movies beforehand and say, not that good? But they just put them out anyway. I guess they need a horror movie for that time of the month. I don't know.
They sit there and they say, okay, well, this meets the standard horror requirements that we see. Okay, well, this should be fine. They'll accept this.
If let's say there's 7 people going to Camp Crystal or whatever it's called.
Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake. I always get it wrong anyway. If there's 7 people going there, you're going to have at least 5 deaths and 5 jump scares. That's how I figured it. So however many people are in the movie, you're always going to be left with 1 or 2 survivors, sometimes none, very rarely. But you can account for that many jump scares and murders by how many people are there.
Actually, you'd probably have up to 8.
Yeah, probably.
8 jump scares.
Yeah, every 15 minutes.
If you have any, because a jump scare can be a cat.
Right.
It can be a sound. It can be, but a good filmmaker will know how not to do that. And also, another thing that causes these films, is that they don't do good characterization.
Yes.
They don't give a good background to the characters. You don't associate with the characters. You don't.
You don't care.
Yeah, you don't care about them. They're just. And that's the one thing that I also fought with when I was fighting, is I kept telling them, gore is not enough. It just can't just be gore and sex. You have to have a story. You have to have characters. You have to have characters that the people will care about, because that's the only way that you can really scare people. And these ones are going, oh, well, you're stupid. You don't know anything. Gore is what's important in horror. You don't know anything. And now I've been proved right, because the new horror films have gotten more sociological. There's less gore. There's next to no sex in them now.
I was just gonna say the same.
And what you're seeing more characterization and that.
Like Get Out.
Yeah, like Get Out. Oh my God, you had a really good character arch with it, and it was sociological.
Yeah.
And it hit a real primal fear of losing your identity and stuff. Now, on the other hand, another film that came out, the remake of Suspiria.
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking garbage. I was bored.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I was bored to death. Because the filmmaker put too much politics into it and not enough scarce, because if you probably saw the original Suspiria, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Very good movie.
And Dario Argento, he used color and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the new Suspiria, there's no color. It is very bland.
See, that's what I hate about remakes sometimes. They usually never are as good as the originals anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you got the rare ones like the Evil Dead remake, but that was good because it played almost like a sequel.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, Shamalama Ding Dong. Oh, I love him.
Do you? Because I don't. I think he's terrible.
The thing is that what M. Night tries to do is M. Night was a fan of the old anthology films. And what he tries to do is he tries to make his films like an anthology story, like a short story.
Yeah.
But he expands it too far, and you can't expand a short story into a feature because it just doesn't work.
He was involved with a Sci-Fi Channel hoax.
Really?
Yeah, here it is. In 2004, Shyamalan was involved in a media hoax with Sci-Fi Channel, which was eventually uncovered by the press. Sci-Fi claimed in its documentary special, The Buried Secret of M. Night Shyamalan,
I remember that. That was cool.
Shot on the set of The Village, that as a child, Shyamalan had been dead for nearly half hour while drowned in a frozen pond in an accident. And that, upon being rescued, he had experiences of communicating with spirits, fueling an obsession with the supernatural. In truth, Shyamalan developed the hoax with Sci-Fi, going so far as having Sci-Fi staffers sign non-disclosure agreements with the $5 million fine, requiring Shyamalan's office to formally approve each step. Neither the childhood accident nor a supposed rift with the filmmakers ever occurred. The Hulk included a non-existent Sci-Fi publicist, David Westover, whose name appeared on press releases regarding the special. Sci-Fi also fed false stories to the Associated Press and the New York Post, among others. That's all.
I thought that was brilliant.
I know.
I thought that was the biggest joke I've ever seen. I mean, it was right up there with the Blair Witch Project. He was using the media to play a story, and it worked. It worked brilliantly. I mean, it's that was some of him being actually brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is that M. Night was a short shooter. He did good on a few films, but then when he tried to expand himself, he ran into faults. It reminds me of the director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper. Now, Tobe Hooper did brilliantly on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He did okay on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He did okay on the remake of Invaders from Mars, and he did brilliantly with Life Force. But after that, all of his other films just basically died. And I forgot his other most brilliant piece of work. He did the first mini-series of Salem's Lot.
M. Night Shyamalan got his break, I guess, when The Sixth Sense came out.
Mm-hmm.
In 1999. I'm just looking. He was the director. He wrote, he acted. And then he wrote Stuart Little in 99. And then Unbreakable came out in 2000. I guess this is where he got his contract after The Sixth Sense. Unbreakable I found to be boring. Signs, boring. The Village was okay, but boring. Lady in the Water sucked. This is my opinion. The Happening, boring, but it was interesting. The Last Airbender, piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Devil, never. Oh yeah, I did. I like Devil, believe it or not. In the elevator.
So did I.
Yeah, in the elevator. After Earth, my God, was that awful. The Visit, awful. Split, I loved, and Glass, I haven't seen yet, and I heard it didn't get bad reviews or good reviews. Just, average. Have you seen it?
From what I've heard is that it's kind of like a 3-act story, and it's the third act that's really bad.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not a big M. Night Shyamalan fan. I think he has a lot of bad movies, and people seem to like. I think what it is, it's his name. People like seeing M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know. There's something about his name that people think it's a good name. I want to go see it. Seriously, there's a lot in the name.
Oh yeah, there is.
It really is.
The one thing that I think that he's really going to be good doing is he's actually involved in the return of Tales from the Crypt. He'll be good doing an anthology.
Is he doing it all?
He's producing it, and he's writing a few stories.
Wow, check this out. Here it is, Rotten Tomatoes. Listen to this, 73%. And Split, 76% were the highest. He's had an 11% Rotten Tomatoes for After Earth, The Last Airbender, 5%, The Happening, 18%, Lady in the Water, 25%, The Village, 43%. Actually, those are kind of accurate to the way I feel. And Glass got 36%, which is not good. I don't say listen to everything those, Rotten Tomatoes or what is it, Metacritic have to say, but they're usually pretty right 90% of the time, in my opinion. But I don't know. Anything new that's coming out that you could mention that we haven't talked about that could be scary? Or even paranormal. It doesn't have to just be scary. Anything that you know of?
I'm trying to remember because I've got there's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out next in the next year. I know that they're redoing The Stand.
Oh God. Oh, you know what I can't wait? I can't wait to see Westworld come back on.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows, although it got a little weird in the last season.
It's gonna get weirder.
I know it is, but I think what they're gonna do is figure out there's alternate realities or something like that, or afterlife.
Probably.
Don't you think that's what it is? I think what they do in that movie is people die, or they kill them, and they somehow download their memories and make them into robots. I think, and they make these towns to live forever. Am I wrong on that? What do you think is going on with Westworld?
They tried to. Last season, they were talking about how they were trying to make people immortal. That's why that one guy went insane. The guy who started Westworld.
The black guy?
No. The guy that they had in the cage.
Yeah, I know. I don't know his name. Isn't he the one who?
He was the industrialist, and he wanted to live forever. And they kept bringing him back. They kept trying to put his mind into a robot, but they could never get it right, and he always went insane.
Yeah, that's right. After a while, he would start to break down. I wonder why. There's got to be a reason why he keeps breaking down, but I guess there's just maybe too much memory in the brain. After a certain amount of time, it can't handle it. Or maybe the soul starts to break down. or something like that.
Yeah, because it was all data, no soul. It didn't have the spark. Whereas for some reason, the robots themselves, they created their own spark in them.
Right. That's what the girl that what's her name is doing. She's the leader of them all. She can talk to them all basically, or control them.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand what's going on. And then what's her name got shot, or didn't she die, or no, her boyfriend.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The blonde one.
Yeah.
She's out in the world now.
Yeah, doesn't she see the other world?
Yeah. Yeah, she's now in the normal people's world. The black girl, she's dead because she got shot and killed. When she was going to go into the robotic afterlife that they created.
Did you see they're coming out with the Legend of Conan, the Barbarian? It picks up where the original left off.
Oh, okay. So they are continuing, and they're going to do the King Conan storyline with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I can't believe it. The Legend of Conan.
That's great.
They're remaking Big Trouble in Little China. How stupid is that? Transformers #7 is coming out. Okay, Alien Awakening, a sequel to the Alien prequel.
Lovely.
Aporia is Bad Robot and Paradigm Pitch set to produce sci-fi thriller. Don't know what it is. Artemis, based on Andy Weir's book. I don't know what that is. Attack on Titan. Oh, Bright #2. Have you ever seen Bright on Netflix?
No. Oh, wait a second. There is a movie that I can recommend that's going to be coming out. Now that you mention it, because it's called Brightburn.
Brightburn?
Mm-hmm.
It's on Netflix?
No, it's going to be out in the theaters.
Oh, okay.
And what it is that this filmmaker has taken the origin story of Superman and made it where Superman as a child is a predatory alien. So it's about this little kid who's from another planet. He starts to get raised by these farmers, and all of a sudden he learns about his alien his alien life, and all of a sudden he starts turning into a killer. And he's got all the powers of Superman. He has the beams of light that comes out of his eyes. He can fly. The kid even wears a cape.
That'll be good.
He's going to be massacring this entire town.
So before we get out of here, I want to just read off a few movies that will be coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers Endgame, which will be phenomenal. Check this out. On October 30th, I'm a big fan of this one. I doubt it'll make it out in time. Terminator 6. This is the sequel after Terminator 2.
Really?
If everybody remembers T2, yeah, with the whiny kid and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Love
when he says,
one.
"Don't swear you won't kill anybody." I swear I won't kill anybody. I swear. Captain Marvel. That's with the chick.
Mm-hmm.
Hellboy.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that. That one actually looks really good.
It does. Dark Phoenix, X-Men.
That one I've heard some bad things. They did a test screening on it. Its secondary test screening, and it flopped horribly.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, that one's supposed to be interesting.
It better be good, because the next movie I will see at the theater, Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh, yes.
Dude,
I'm looking forward to that.
Even though they're not great, I like the last Godzilla movie. I thought that was good. So check this out. Now, this is for those kids who, I think the Mandela effect created the making of this movie. Shazam!
Oh, God.
Remember, people were saying that movie did come out, Shazam, with Shaquille O'Neal, but also a remake was done.
But that was supposed to be Shazam the genie. This is Shazam the superhero.
Right, right. We all have superheroes inside us. It just takes a bit of magic to bring it out. In Billy Batson's Angel case, by shouting out one word Shazam, this streetwise 14-year-old foster kid can turn into the adult superhero Shazam. Courtesy of an ancient wizard, still a kid at heart, inside a ripped godlike body, Shazam reveals in this adult version of himself by doing what any teen would do with superpowers. Have fun with them. Can he fly? Does he have X-ray vision? Can he shoot? All right. Now, this one I'm not too sure. It comes out next week. Alita, Battle Angel.
Oh, yeah. It's based on an anime. Or a manga. It's actually a manga. And I've heard some stuff about it. It says that it is stunning to watch. But they said that they threw too much into the story. It's a very crowded story.
I believe it, because it would have to be, because the special effects look awful already from what I'm seeing on TV. The people don't look any better than they did 10 years ago, and they're supposed to be all CGI. It doesn't look good to me. So they're releasing Star Wars 9.
Mm-hmm.
In December, like they did in December 2012. They're going to release it, but with the other 3 movies that started it all. So you can watch 4 movies in one, spend 10 hours in a theater. That's pretty much... The New Mutants looks good.
Yeah, that one's interesting because it's X-Men, but the way that they're doing it is they're doing it as a horror film.
Check this out. Captive State. Set in a Chicago neighborhood nearly a decade after an occupation by an extraterrestrial force, Captive State explores the lives on both sides of the conflict, the collaborators and dissidents. And Will Smith is coming out with Gemini Man, Justice League 2, Alien Covenant 2. Oh, that was supposed to be out already. It didn't come out. It says January 1st. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, anyway. So those are the movies to look forward to in the sci-fi category and, comic book genres. So, man, what's coming up next for you, man? You're still doing your show, of course, right? Where can everybody find it? What's the name? When's it on?
Well, I'm actually going to be recording my show this Wednesday. We're actually going to have the actress that played Frankenhooker, and we're going to be talking about the classic film Frankenhooker, and that episode is going to be coming out this Saturday.
And where can people listen?
On YouTube, it's Full Spectrum Radio.
And what's the name of the show?
Full Spectrum Horror, I should say.
Okay. What's the name of your show again?
Week after that, I'm going to be coming out with the next episode of Bloodbath Theater.
That's it.
And I'm going to be showing Lee Majors and Burgess Meredith in The Last Chase. and I'm going to be showing the film Damnation Alley.
Burgess Meredith.
And I'm going to be showing the another episode of Project UFO, which, you know, as I said, Rich, is the better version of the Project Blue Book story.
Do you like Project Blue Book?
I like the way that they're showing the you know, that it's placed in the proper time, and that they're showing you know, you know, how people thought in those days. But as far as the way that, you know, it's too much like the X-Files.
Well, Hynek never had a UFO sighting. I mean, he's already had 2 in this one. It's just, you know, it's getting a little bit out of control, I think, with the Russian spy invading his wife's life, you know, and taking pictures. They go into Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and she just walks down the hall, starts taking pictures of the UFOs that they just happen to have laying out on the board, you know, pinned up and everything with maps. And it's so stupid. Nothing would be that easily accessible, even back in the 50s.
Honestly, Rich, I think you'd like Project UFO a lot better.
Probably. Because it's not that I hate Project Blue Book. It's just if I didn't know what I knew, it would probably be more enjoyable. But it's made for TV, and I guess. But what bothers me is they're mixing in false things with the you know. Okay, he never saw a UFO, so now people are gonna think, who don't know J. Allen Hynek, they're gonna think that he was seeing UFOs all the time, but he never did. So that's bad for business. That's not really cool.
They're fictionalizing history like they always do.
Yeah.
They kind of figure like, oh well, this is like an HBO drama like The Tudors and that, where they change history and make it into a drama. And so they're taking the Hynek story and they're just fucking with it.
I mean, they don't have to do any of that. You know what I mean?
No.
It bothers me.
You know, that as I said, that's why I think you would have really liked Project UFO better, because what it sticks more with, you know, the case file, and you know, they don't even really get into the 2 Air Force characters that investigate. They keep them basically at a distance, and you're more hearing the story of what's going on with the sighting and how they're trying to debunk it and stuff.
Well, and it's always something. It's they just can't do it right, and it just bothers me. I was just hoping the show would be a lot better for Project Blue Book. But anyway, that's life. Well, we are out of time. Yeah, we're not going to go 4 hours or 3 hours tonight, so we just did the 2 hours, and we did it good. We didn't get blocked out. Nothing went wrong. Everything seemed to be okay. We just had a little glitch in the beginning, but that's between you and me. They don't have to know.
Okay. John wanted to say hi.
Who?
John.
Hey,
right
John.
Here.
John's he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, my horror host skull.
Where'd you get that? Did you make it?
No. I had this as a Halloween decoration. I got this 20 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And when I started doing Bloodbath Theater, I thought, okay, I'm going to bring in my skull John. And last year, well, actually 2 years ago, I actually had John Stanley from Creature Features actually sign the back of him.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's official. He's officially John, the horror host skull.
How much is that? How does that? It looks like it doesn't weigh that much.
It can get a little heavy when I'm having to hold it for an episode because it's made nice and hard. This thing almost feels like bone.
Oh, okay. I like the eye, man. That's creepy. Well, we're gonna head out, man. Thanks for coming on. It's totally awesome. Lots of fun. Went by real quick. And I appreciate you hanging out with us here on just about every show. You've always been a good friend to me and the show, and I'm glad you came on. We hung out a little bit for once. Why do they always go by so fast when I talk to you? It was like I don't even remember what happened an hour ago.
Yeah, because it's very easy.
I know. And we talked about something different all the times you've been on. It was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks, man. So, I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty, guys. Keep America strong. Watch horror films, and check out Bloodbath Theater when you get a chance. Actually, the Bloodbath Theater's on Vimeo, so check out Bloodbath Theater. If you want to check it out, it's on Vimeo under the Wolfpack Presents.
Cool, man. Thanks. And again, thanks again for coming on, man. I hope you have a good week.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. All right, buddy. Catch you later.
Take care, William. I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Bye. Wow, man, that was really fast. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight on the show. It was a lot of fun. It went by super quick. And we'll be back Thursday. You know, I don't know if I'll be doing any shows before. You know what I mean? Like Tuesday or Wednesday or tomorrow. I have got to find another job. So in the meantime, I don't know. Maybe I'll be doing a show every night this week or just Thursday. So keep an eye on the chat rooms. You can follow me on Facebook under GUFON Network. And also go to GUFON Network under GUFON.net. Sign up there. Nobody's joining, so the site may come down soon. But I'll post my videos up there and see if it grows a little bit after that. But go to GUFON.org. Victor is running GUFON.org and does a great job. And also the GUFON Radio stream, which plays 10 of my shows 24/7. They're always changed, always new, and always interesting. So thanks, Victor, for that. Guys, hope you have a great week. I will see you during the week, and Thursday, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on YouTube. It's GUFON Radio stream signing out. Have a good week.